you're going to inherit the work product of an interim committee that's spent 3 years looking at the school funding formula. They're proposing some complicated changes, and the bottom line, though, is that as you change the formula, some districts and some charters may come out ahead and some may come out behind. What's your general view about the need to change the formula in the first place, and how do you address the concerns that you could create winners and losers by changing the formula?
Well, Kevin, it is a zero-sum game, but I think in the questions that I've had in the last 8 months about that, I said, if we have perverse incentives in our funding formula that's causing behavior that's contrary to the good of students, we need to address that. And I know there were some of those that were talked about. But if we're taking money from one district and giving it to another, there's a cost for that. And so I look forward to having a discussion with the legislature. You know, this is going to be a code change, and education is my top priority. We will weigh in on it, but if, you know, 40, 60, 80 million dollars, whatever the cost is of keeping everybody whole, we have to weigh that against some of our other education policies and investments, and I look forward to doing that.
Can you give an example of what you would consider to be a perverse incentive within the formula as it exists?
People gaming the funding formula. In other words, they're educating the same kids for the same amount of time, but they're doing it through they're doing it through an area that gives them higher funding, just based on the fact the way they're counting students. So we're not educating any more kids, but we're paying more out because of the way some people are taking advantage of the school funding formula. I know full well, matter of fact, the superintendent that did it fessed up in the newspaper and says, we're doing this to game the funding formula. And everybody in the district that was going to get more money thought it was a great deal. Well, what about the other 114 districts that were going to lose money? So.